Okay, so this is my final project elevator simulation. I simulated both the simulation I made on Logisim and my circuit with 16 floors, and I inputted these 16 floors into a priority encoder. Even though I know that we don't exactly have a 16 to 4 priority encoder, I just figured for simulation purposes it'd be a lot easier to just use the 16 input priority encoder, as it would act the same as two 8 to 3 priority encoders combined. Um, then I take the output of the priority encoder, I split it up into each of its bits, and I input the bits either a flip flop or a NOR gate, and I input the signal from the end of the NOR gate transmission and put that into an AND gate along with the input from a clock, and I take that ANDed signal and I input that into the clock input for the flip flops, and I do the same for the outputs of the elevator. The outputs of the elevator are on the bottom half of the screen, and the inputs of the elevator appear at the top half of the screen. And you see, I labeled each floor, and the inputs are inputted with buttons as our circuits are. And the outputs of each flip flop, I inputted that into a magnitude comparator, and depending on the button that is pressed and the floor at which the elevator is at, the magnitude comparator will compare those and either tell the elevator to go up, go down, down, or to stop. So right now I have the elevator set at floor 11. If I press floor 12, for example, the magnitude comparator will compare these two values and tell the elevator to go up. And right here we see that we have an up output. Now if I reset the flip-flops and change the floor to, let's say, floor 4, and I go back up and I click floor 7, the output should say up, and we see up again. And if I click floor 4, it should also say up, or it should say stop, because the values of these two floors, the floor at which I am pressing, the button I'm pressing, and the floor that the elevator is at are the same, so the elevator does not have to move. Now if I reset the flip-flops again and change the floor to, say, floor 1, and I click floor 15, it should say up, and we have an up output. And so yeah, I could do that a little bit more, but that's basically the gist of my simulation. I decided not to use a multiplexer because I thought that the use of these NOR gates would be a lot simpler and less complicated. So if I change the floor again to floor 7, say, and I go to floor 5, we should have that down signal. But if I reset it and go to floor 13, we should have an up signal. And that's it. Thank you.